everybody, welcome to this Monday mini. I'm super excited to be here. This is our first Monday mini on YouTube, so I'm really excited for this, and I'm gonna jump right in. So if you're wondering what a Monday mini is, it is a tutorial that is great for beginners, but fun for everybody, that you can do in roughly about a half an hour. So this is really just to promote art and get you started, because if you don't have a lot of time for art, then sometimes it can kind of feel overwhelming and you don't even know where to start, and you're thinking, you know, maybe this is going to take me a really long time. So these Monday minis are great for just jumping right in. I teach you super simple ways to make fun designs and in a timely manner. So we'll get started. I have a lot of supplies today, but I'm going to put those supplies in down in below, so you can check out the supply list there in the description. So we are going to start, and I'm going to be cutting my page into 4. So depending on what size you're using, I'm using an 11 by 14. So I'm going to just cut my page into 4 here. So roughly there. And I'm just going to create this line. I like to do a couple different spots. This way we can get the line straight. And then I'm going to go and do that this way as well. So I know this is 14, so we're going to go 7 here. And then once again, just a couple across. This way our line stays straight. All right, so we have our 4 sections today. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna choose any colors we want. We're gonna be putting some cute little bunnies in here, but we can go ahead and do the background in any color that we want. So we can pick spring colors, or if you wanna do colors that are a little more subtle, you can. I have some blue here. So I'm gonna grab some blue. I'm gonna be lightening that a bit. I might stick with blues today. I have like a, this one is called light blue violet. So it's gonna be a little bit of a different shade. It has a little bit of purple in it. And then I also have this teal here. So I think I'll stick with all blues today, but you could do like a variety of colors. And then I also have aqua here, so I'm gonna do that too. So I'm just putting my 4 colors on my plate. And I'm going to take my largest brush that I have here. So I have a large flat brush. This is a 3/4 inch. And I'm just gonna start painting these sections here. So I can start with, I'll start with my lightest color. And I'm just gonna come up just on this line and come across. This is gonna create just kind of like a barrier so that I don't paint too much over that line by accident. And then I'm just gonna come in and paint. So just doing some long strokes here. That way it kind of goes on all evenly. So I've got my 1 section done. I'm going to clean my brush off, and I'm going to paint the second section. So you can go ahead and paint your 4 sections whatever colors you'd like. Okay, so I have all 4 sections done in the colors that I wanted to do them in. So we're going to take and blow dry this, make sure it's all nice and dry. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some white on our plates. And you can grab your medium brush here. We're going to be using our filbert brush. This is a size 8. And we also have here, I have a round brush size 4. So I'm going to be using those for the next step. We're going to be creating little bunnies in these 4 little squares. So you can get some white paint on your filbert brush, and we're just going to create little round bodies. So we can kind of just tap up and down in a round shape here. We don't have to have it smooth. You can make them smooth if you want, but later on I'm gonna be, I like bold paintings. So colorful, bold paintings are fun. That's the style I love. So we are going to be adding some accents after, and it's kind of nice to accentuate the shapes around the sides. So it's okay if they have little fur here. A little bit of fur kind of sticking out. And we're going to do that in all 4 sections. So we're going to make 3 more of those. And I'm just tapping up and down. And wherever my brush lands is where it lands. So we're not looking for perfect here. We're present, we're having fun. This is something that, you know, we can take time for ourselves to do and just not really feel rushed through this. So we wanna paint with intention. Time is important, and if you're taking the time to do this, then it's nice to come and paint with some intention. So if your little circles are not exactly the same size or exactly the same shape, that's okay. We're not looking for it to be exactly the same. We're just making 4 little bunnies. We don't even have to do them the same at all. We could make them completely different once we put their head on and their ears. We could do different shapes if we wanted to. You can start to think about what you want your bunnies to look like while you're doing this. Do you want them all to be the same? Do you want to explore and make them different? I think it depends too sometimes on, like, if you're, you know, some people have, like, I find with artwork sometimes I'm a little OCD, so like, I'll be like, well, that one is this size, so this one has to be this size. But I try to let go a little bit of that because I know that sometimes some of the greatest art is created when we don't have a plan and when everything isn't coming out perfect. It just kind of shows up. So I have my 4 little sections here. I'm gonna go ahead and make another little circle on top so we can have our little bunnies' heads here. And I'm just doing the same technique. Right now it's gonna look almost like a little snowman. Now we want this to meet here, so we can make our circle down below a little bigger, or we can make the one up top a little bigger, depending on what you've done so far. You can see what will work. I'll just kind of work around with it here. And I'm gonna do that for all of them. So super simple technique. If you can lift your brush and put it back down, you can do this technique. what comes up for you while you're doing this? While you're, you know, tapping this? Are you thinking, are you feeling like it's taking too long? I need to do it faster, or is it relaxing for you? Kind of examine what comes up for you when you're creating different art, because it can really tell you a lot about areas of growth and where you can, you know, grow as a person. For me, a lot of the times I feel like I need to do it faster, but that's just telling me to slow down and take it easy and, you know, enjoy the process. What's the point of rushing through this, right? Nothing is that important that we have to rush. All right, so we have our 4 little bunnies here. I'm gonna clean out this brush, and we're gonna go ahead and switch brushes to this this round one. So we're gonna create our little bunny ears. They can be any way you want. They can be straight up and down. One can be bent. You can do whatever you want. So I'm gonna just do the outline of one here. So I'm just gonna come up, make it a little skinnier up top. So just like a straight line up, and then I'm gonna come back down. We can fill that in. And we can have this one maybe coming down a little bit. Just bent there like that. And we can do that for all of them. So you can match that if you want, or you can do it different shapes. If you want both ears bent, we could do that. I'm gonna go against my wanting of it being exactly the same. And I'm gonna do 2 standing up this time, and maybe next time I'll do a couple down. Let's see. Can have a bent one here like this. Maybe this one's bent. And then we can decide whatever we want for this too. So maybe we just do the opposite side and do this one here bent, and then leave that one up. Here we have our 4 cute little bunnies. Now I'm going to come back with my filbert brush here, and we're going to mix. We're just going to do a little bit of a shadow. So we're going to mix. Let's get some black here. I'm going to mix a very, very light gray. So I'm going to scoop some of this white over here. I'm going to put a little bit of black in there. Just make it a really light gray. We're gonna add a little bit of a shadow in. So we can tap up and down here, add a little shadow. Kind of tapping here. And then I'm gonna wipe the excess gray off my brush and come back just into white. And we're just gonna tap that here again. And it's gonna just blend it out so that you have a little bit of gray, but not too much. Go back in if you need more white and just tap that out so it's blended nicely. Create a little bit of shadow there. Same with here. So you can just take and tap a little bit of gray in. and tap some white back. And as soon as you tap up and down, it's just going to start blending. So just blend like that. And I'm going to do the same thing with the ears a little bit. So come in with some of that light gray. I'm going to switch my brush again. And I'm just going to put a little bit of dark underneath because technically, like if the light was shining, the darkest part would be on the bottom, right? And then we can just come back in with some white and just blend that out. Same with this here, would be a little bit of dark underneath. And then we're going to come back in with some white. Blend that out there. And we're just repeating this for all of them. You could do more than one at a time. So if you want to have, you know, both sides kind of started there, and then you can easily, as long as it's still a little bit wet, your gray paint, you can come back in and you can blend that out. And I almost like to move my paintbrush when I'm blending, almost like a colored pencil, just up and down, and then it blends out. And then for fun, if you wanted to, you could even add a little bit of pink. These are your bunnies, so you could do whatever you want with them. But we can go and touch in a tiny bit of pink. And maybe for this bent down section, you know, we could put a little bit of pink in here. So this is a pretty dark pink. I'm gonna just blend it out a little bit so it's not so dark. So maybe just for this bent ear, we can kind of see a little bit of the underneath. Not maybe for all of them, just the bent ones. Bring a little color in there for some fun. And I'm just using the smallest amount, just the very, very tip of my brush, because we don't want it to take over, we just want it to be light. You could even mix with a little bit of white if you wanted to make it lighter. So I'm going to wash out that brush, and then we are going to add some black here. So I'm going to make my bunnies kind of have some fur on the outer edge. This is optional, you don't have to. If you like them how they are, you can leave them. But I'm just going to water down my black paint a tiny bit. I find it's a lot easier to work with if it's just a little bit more liquidy. And then we can come in, and I am going to add some fun. A little bit of fun here to my bunnies. And I just like to put outlines that are, you know, they don't maybe exactly match up, and they're kind of fun to have here. And I'm just gonna do little tiny brackets around my bunny. Kind of show where the fur is going. Don't have to do all brackets. You could have like a piece just kind of coming out like fur. We're gonna go all around like this. you can see how those bunnies are starting to pop out and have a little bit more character. So we're just going to continue to do that. Outline them. You can outline them perfectly if you want. You can outline them with thin lines, thick lines. This is where you kind of discover, you know, what you like to do. I give you the idea, but then you go and take it and make it your own. All right, so you got your bunnies there. You can make little tails. So you could just come in. Now what you could do is if you had something like, if you wanted to make this multimedia, there's options here. You could just put a little tail in the center there. You could put a cotton ball. I have these cute little flowers. They're a little bit big for this, so I'm not gonna put them on today, but if you had like smaller flowers, you can make them the tails. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna paint them on today. So I'm just gonna come around in a little circle with my black and just kind of go around like it's there. Not straight solid lines, but just little fun. I'm hardly touching my brush to my paper here. Okay. And then we could go and you can leave it like that. I'm going to show you a couple little added fun things, but you could just leave it. I do have here some ribbons. So if you wanted to create like little bows, you could always glue them on and put them as like little neckties in the back. Yeah, so what we could do is we could cut, let's say, a little piece of string off. And then we can create a bow. So our bows don't have to be large, they can be tiny here because we got tiny bunnies. And then I'm just gonna, I like to grab the two sides and just pull up so that my strings stay down. So I've got a cute little bow there. And I'm gonna cut these little edges off, so. If these scissors wanna work for me. All right, so we've got a cute little bow here. And then we can take and we can glue this on. So I have my glue here. One, two. Put a little dot there, and then put this down for your bunny. So your one bunny here has a little bow, and you could go along and you could do that for all of them. I do have different color bows here. I have orange, I have blue. I also have like a burlap kind of twine string that you could use as well. So maybe we can make one out of this. And there you go. It's So that is adorable. If you wanted to add more designs around, you definitely could. I'm gonna leave mine like that. But you could definitely, if you have a palette knife, you could do some, palette designs around, would really amp this up. If you enjoyed this tutorial, feel free to subscribe to my channel. You can also find links to my other social media platforms in the description. And I hope you have a great day. If you'd like to send me a picture of yours, you can follow me on Facebook at my Facebook page. And have a great day, everybody.